So it is the 24th of Erok. I think I got the date right for the first time in 2 years. Marta, the 24th of Marta of Erok. And as is common in Adventuretide, the skies are cloudy and gloomy about Albion. And it gets down to freezing at night, just below freezing, and is a gloomy and chilly gray during the day, around 40 Fahrenheit or so. And today, Perderi, a lot has happened with what I often call in the results the Hounds of the Pine and their Associates. And there has been tremendous death and turnover and change and revelation. It is clear to you now that there is an enemy that seeks to unravel everything that you've done here. And you've recently purchased a keelboat, which Perderi is still an investor in. Flanagan's gone, he's an NPC now, but Perderi is an investor. And then the actual captain of the boat is an NPC. So you have a means of actually sailing both to the great bridge of the coast road, where there's the great cavern, and under the bridge and beyond to the caves. And tonight, Perderi is going to lead us on the keelboat to the great cavern to try to find a way down, to figure out where the temple is and stop the threat. And so, being the 24th of Marta, you start as you always do the night before in the tavern discussing your plans. Perderi, is there anything that you want to, any plans that you want to make, anything that you want to do before you all depart? Get what sleep you can and head out the next day.
Well, first I think I would like to call for if there's any objections to using the keelboat. If anyone's come up with any stronger suggestions, I think it's still our strongest so far as being able to get there in due time.
Is the keelboat still in better repair now? Like, have my attempts to repair it been at all successful? Good. Then I have no objection.
Yeah, I think that seems like the best way to go. I was just reflecting on the Otherworld Adventures on the Discord that it does seem like we need to eventually have a forward operating base somehow. Like we're having to get there every time, but that's not for now. I mean, we discussed that right before, but having to travel this far before we had to get to the mouth of doom, but now we've got to either boat up or else be in that cockroach hotel underground or whatever. It's a long ways either way.
Father Bloombed, what's you? I think you have the largest share in the keelboat, don't you? Or
not technically.
That'd be me.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I couldn't remember who it was. So still taking the vote. Okay. Is there what gear need we provide for the people who've sworn to follow us?
I mean, they're all adventurers. That they should come with their own. Ross listed some stuff. I guess we should get. Do they have basic adventuring gear, like torches and?
Let me add 2 data points to that. Just so my plan with this, because we discussed it last time, was to just. You said you wanted me to control them. So my plan was to just arithmetically go with the higher ACs and fighters, assume the best, unless you say, no, I want to control them tactically. But if I'm controlling them, you can assume that, all right, the very best fighters are going to be up front with the best armor class, and they're the ones that are going to die first and get hit and stuff. And so when I look on the list, I'm just going to look for that. And yeah, you can see on the list that they have equipment. Some of them have really nice equipment, like Paisling, the female first class, has chainmail and shield plus a warhammer, And she has 21 hit points. I did some math wrong there somewhere. I think she's a level 4 fighter. But anyways, I'm not going to change it. So, Pagelings are going to get hit first. But then some of them have a sling or a javelin. So, it's you tell me just in broad strokes what you want to do, and we'll figure out as long as you are willing to spend money, you can assume that there's plenty of supplies in town. If you want to purchase spears and slings for all of them, or spears and longbows for all of them, that's quite expensive. But
how much is a good spear, or even a shitty spear?
Spear is quite cheap, if I remember.
It's GP.
But when you think about our, the 22 fighters or 22 combatants, of which those who are qualified to use bows, you have a front rank and a second rank of spears and a third rank of longbows. You're talking about a devastating force.
Right.
Yeah. Magnus will pitch in for that effort.
All right. Father Chris, will you do me a favor and I say pitch in? I'm like, all right, you'll pay for it. But if somebody could please do the math on that and figure out how much you owe, to where everybody has a longbow, everybody has a front line weapon, everybody has a second line weapon.
Oof,
and I hope
longbows are
someone can
not
pay for Brian's.
Longbows are pricey.
I thought so, yeah.
I did steal one though. I've got a spare. I almost never use it.
Yeah, but we don't need. Well, okay. So how many longbows?
Slings or short bows would suffice for most of them.
I will buy 4 longbows if they are needed. How many longbows do we need?
Well, let's not do let's not do math with friends right now. We'll do that after the session or between sessions. But if someone could please take that upon themselves to do the math and figure out what you need and disperse that, I would appreciate it. One thing you might consider, but we need big decisions. So frontline weapons, right? And shields, like how exorbitant do you want to get? Because here's how far you could get. Weapons and shields frontline, second line spears, third line longbows, and all magic users darts. Darts can attack 3 times in a round. So we're talking, like how far, and armor, and you could buy chainmail for every single person on the front rank if you wanted to. So, or you could just reasonably say, hey, let's get everybody a spear and a short bow and some arrows and slings for people that can't use a bow.
No, pole arms rather than spears. They're only 10 GP.
And they have 8 D8.
It's D8,
yeah.
D8 plus 1. It's a 2-handed weapon.
Incredible.
So, yeah.
I mean, I think we should buy chainmail for all the fighters if we can. Like, that's a lot of money for all of you, but 75 gold each, yikes. It just seems like...
Yeah.
Well, the survival rate is much higher,
in for a
right?
penny, in for a pound, okay? Why not go plate?
Heavy.
If you have the money,
Very heavy.
geez.
But yeah, if you can swing it.
Yeah, do you all have that kind of money?
I don't, but if someone else wants to.
I'm very fortunate
I
that
do.
Okay. So plate with shield and halberds and short bows with arrows.
Okay, well, we'll do the accounting later. How many per rank? That's the other thing we have to look like. I don't know that anyone but the frontline people actually need plate, for example. Right. And whatever. Anyway, so.
And
right.
The tunnels we were in it was fairly wide, at least at one point. So we gotta figure there's probably not going to be more than how many wide? Maybe 8 wide. Does that sound?
It'll be 10 wide, I bet, because the tactics allow for certain weapons within certain distances. Within one grid, you can have 2 if you have certain types of weapons, which I'm making some assumptions here. So if you spread that out 5 grids across, you'll have 10 in the front rank, 10 in the back rank, 2 remaining, and then some will be out of that because they'll be magic users and thieves.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, we should... So you're controlling most of them. So as long as we like have some sort of like general formation, people are kind of know where
Yeah.
they want to have how they want to best leverage what they have. I think that we should be fine.
Yeah, I'd like to just narratively, and maybe this is like narratively and also mechanically. Brian would want to be up in the front with the foot soldiers. They great if they all have plate mail. He's wearing chain and he's fine with that. He's leading by example, and and then a rank behind. Like so, whatever we have for fighters is 2 ranks. Like a front rank that's the wall that's holding back from everybody else, and then the back rank that could have halberds and also missile weapons, so they can, if they need to be up behind with halberds, that's great. Otherwise, they're further back with missile weapons. So half and half, that's what I would suggest.
Yeah, and I'm seeing a lot of these guys actually come with chain or plate already. So what I'm going to say is I'll pitch in.
Just supplement the ones that need it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll like 500 worth for plate or whatever.
Okay.
And halberds.
Cool. And so Ross, are you managing this then? Like we don't have to touch these characters, or?
Yeah, we talked about it at the end of the session last time, and basically the agreement was that you would make big broad stroke decisions. Like, all right, this many people died. What are we doing this round? You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to say name the characters that die then?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
The VTT will make it move real fast, so you'll know, if somebody gets killed or whatever.
Okay.
So plate plus a shield is AC 17 with a regular dexterity. So I just need to know that if it comes up.
Jeez, we're quite the massive band right now.
Yeah, you this whole army of light talk. It has come to be. It has come to be.
Beware. We're about to take one along a river voyage. It's a very bad time to be caught out in heavy plate if you fall overboard.
Yeah, what is everybody wearing on the river voyage tomorrow? You cannot swim in plate.
Ooh, if you
Can you swim in chain?
I can't remember. I will just impose a penalty. It'll be bad though. Like swimming in chainmail sounds pretty bad.
And it's not like Algar's superhumanly strong. I'll stick to leather while we're aboard ships.
All right. Yeah. Everybody else. You let me know when it comes around your turn if something happens. If something were to happen. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we got a Perduri. Is there any other planning considerations before you bed down the night before your journey?
I mean, I'm still fairly new to this, so if anyone has any last minute suggestions, be all ears. But other than that, I think that we've hammered out the important things.
All right,
we're good.
We're basically going back the same route that we were last time. I mean, it has its own dangers. We need to be aware of the trolls again. Hopefully, we don't run into them. We used the Rod of Blasting or whatever last time. Is that still good on charges?
As far as we know, it doesn't. Its problem is not that it runs out of power. The problem is that every time you use it, you're playing Russian roulette.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. It increases the chance that it's going to break, and when it breaks, it explodes in everybody's face.
Gotcha. Okay.
And they're going to expect us to have that, so they're not going to set up the same type of ambush, most likely.
We'll be going in a different direction, but that doesn't mean they're not going to try again. I guess we've run into them out there too, right? The trolls.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I would recommend that for the most part, we travel quickly and well, no, they can see in the dark, can't they? Or at least better than we can, so we might as well travel during the day. It's not that long a trip anyway.
Yeah, day, it's gonna work the best for us, I think, because we can see farther and all that.
Here's my theory. I think Scramge told Turlane where to expect us. Because keeping 40 trolls in one spot for a prolonged period of time strikes me as logistically difficult because they would get hungry and they would get cranky, and his power over them is clearly finite because he has failed to convince them of the urgency of killing us before. So
Yeah, but they can just pick one. They can pick one or two to eat off of because they're just going to regenerate probably. If you know what I mean?
That might work. That might not work. We don't know how much they violate the law of like all things eat. But my assumption is like, I don't think we're going to be attacked by Turlane every single time we go down the river, but the risk is there.
Yeah, who knows?
The risk is there. And so the sun rises on a gray, overcast sky of Albion. And you gather your equipment, you all look like a group of mighty knights, an array of nearly 30 strong, a force of plate-armored warriors, and capes and halberds and backpacks and everything, and you gather all this and put it on the kill boat and get ready to set sail. And to try to bring retribution for what happened a couple of weeks ago. And you travel first day.
Brian is extremely confident. Looking over the men, and informs you all that they're well equipped.
I'm going to spend time with Brian, making sure to ask all sorts of questions and be educated by him on all things soldiery.
Yeah, he'll teach what he openly talks about it. What you should do is just when battle starts, and gives you his advice. But he also asks. He's very open to hearing about what you know of combat underground and what you've learned. So our men don't die.
Step carefully. Look up.
Right. Step carefully and look up. Did you hear that, men?
Some of them are really enthusiastic. Yeah, and they make a lot of noise, and they're some of them even maybe have a bit of drink if you haven't forbid it, and they are carousing and.
Let's do a ration, shall we? A rum ration for good behavior.
They hate it. All of them hate Magnus now. And, they seem very confident also, like what could possibly stop this army led by Father Bloombad himself? What could possibly stop this army?
A fireball.
They have not seen the things you've seen. So, you're sailing, and it gets to be about midday of the first day.
I want to propose before any encounter occurs to everybody. I want to propose that if they show up again and any chance of a fireball happens, like the first thing that happens is we should actually maybe vacate the boat.
Okay.
Could
you'll have time to make a plan when it comes up, but okay. So you're sailing, it's about midday, it gets to be, the sun gets high in the sky, and Algar, roll a d6. Your usual
fantabulous.
preternatural ranger abilities. Did you get a 5? Is that, yeah, okay.
I got a 5.
Ahead of you, along the soggy, moss-laden banks, it would be impossible to the untrained eye to spot what you see along the banks. You see 3 figures. They look like wads or mounds of peat, and but you can see eyes on things that should not have eyes, and then they slowly start to float and down into a like a dammed area off to the left. They've seen you, and they seem to be trying to get away.
Eyes up. Scan the sky. Any evidence of Turlane in the theater?
None.
Okay. Well, he's going to know about us on the way back, so this is definitely still... Unless we kill them now, which we probably should. Okay, I informed the crew of the position that we have been spotted by scouts of Turlane and his Mossman.
Okay.
And I recommend we remove that immediately.
Perderi, what do you think?
I'm sorry, can you say that again? I was busy typing.
Basically, Algar the Ranger has spotted 3 of these Mossmen that they've seen you, and they are trying to flee, and he has recommended you slay them as quickly as possible.
Absolutely. We maybe try to figure out, keep one alive, but absolutely we should stop their escape.
Okay.
Interrogating these creatures is plausible, but very difficult. They have... You know what? Fuck it. Sure, let's try.
Okay.
I would like... Well, anyway. Maybe not.
What's that?
If they're running from us, I can cast Minor Misconstruence on them.
Okay. So you declare Minor Misconstruence.
Well, I'm running it by... See, if we start attacking them, it kind of won't matter, because it takes time for it to actually take effect.
Also,
What
don't
does
they
this
have to
spell
speak
do?
your language or something?
No.
Oh, okay.
What
That's
does
right.
that spell do?
It causes them to start misunderstanding each other or mishearing each other, so that they misconstrue what they hear and possibly get upset.
Doesn't sound like it would hurt anything.
But it would, yeah, I mean, it's up to you whether or not you want to engage them or just let that do its work and see what happens, maybe follow them.
Do we want to learn information from them, or do we want to just slay them outright?
Priority 1 is making sure they don't transmit information about our location and disposition to Turlane. But getting information out of them is useful if we can swing it.
Yeah.
Does anybody speak their language?
I do. Assuming that I correctly believe them
Well,
to
then
speak Giantish, then yeah, I can speak their tongue.
My suggestion would be that you try to follow them. This is just a suggestion, that you try to follow them, listen to them argue with each other as my spell takes effect, and see if anything interesting comes out of it.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay.
Don't go too far. Do we want to pull the boat aside and wait for his return?
Yeah, I mean...
That would make sense.
Yeah, I guess we should do that, hey?
Okay. We'll do that. We'll pull ashore, set a perimeter, and see what we can learn.
Okay, hold on a second.
And we'll keep... not that I think it's going to matter, but we'll keep some people on the boat too, maybe. That are maybe a little bit above. I imagine the keel boat's a bit higher than the surrounding ground or something.
So keep an eye over the handrails in case
it
they end up in
affects
the water.
Just to let you know, it affects all 3 of them because I rolled 4 on the 2d6. They get a saving throw. Each of them gets a save, and if they succeed, they have to re-roll it every 10 minutes over a course of an hour.
Brian is standing on the deck of the keelboat with one foot up on the railing, confidently looking over with his hand out like this and calling out, he's moving quickly, men. Well, he's quite, he's agile on the bog, everyone. Oh, if you could see him go. Men, don't forget, keep your missile weapons up, just in case. Well, he's almost out of sight now, and he's just like calling out to everybody what's going on. I've lost sight of him.
Play.
Okay, let me make sure I understand what's going on. So we've cast Magnus's Minor Misconstruence, and Algar's going to jump off the boat, try to follow them, see what they're doing, and then you're going to have to make a decision out there on your own, either to come back or act on it, of course, but see what happens. Okay, so
cool.
You do that, they will have a chance to evade, which I will simply sum up. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, here's a follow-up question. So we want to prevent them from being able to escape. We're sending a single person after them. Do we want to send a second party to try to catch up with Algar?
I can leave a trail that should be easy to follow.
Okay. Yeah, you do that. All right. So there'll be a second echelon that'll arrive after a certain amount of, a certain point. Okay. So Algar, you will need to make a one of your tracking checks. Now, the good news is it's fresh. You've seen them. You're tracking. Oh, how is that? Is that good? It's good, right?
It should be.
Yeah.
Normally I have like 90% chance to track. And
nice.
Like it goes down like 10% per day.
You easily track them, and two of them are group. I want to be careful how I say this. It sounds ridiculous and terrible no matter how I say it. They're caring for, they're grooming each other. They're taking care of it like feral animals. Yeah, and checking each other's wounds and stuff. And then the other one is irate. And and if you speak the language, he's basically like, Master, tell us, go now. Master, tell us. Master, we need to go back to Master. Don't stop now. And then the other one's like, find food. This one, and they probably didn't have names. This one, he hungry. And then this one responds, I'm not hungry. This one may be hungry. And then says that about the one that said that about him. And they go back and forth like that for a while. And then the other one is just like, and then the other one like starts to lope off in the forest and just leave them.
All right. I'm going to have to run down that third one. Can I solo a troll?
There's only one way to find out. Oh, man.
I can certainly bait that troll back, probably. No, he's been evading me, so I can probably try and... He's probably afraid of me, and rightly so. So I'll try and get in front of him, and then push him back towards the river.
All right, it all comes down to this, then. The second echelon catches up to these two trolls, and it gets worse and worse to the point where they basically are, constantly misunderstanding each other in a positive way. So the second echelon can essentially trap or web them or kill them. If you want to try to web them, Magnus, you could do that if you're going to try to interrogate them. I'm going to make a ruling about interrogations and say that they get basically one save, and it's going to be you pass or fail. Because I think when you get into 4 or 5 attempts to interrogate somebody, that's called torture.
Yeah, so, I don't want
to. So yeah. we'll get to that in a second, okay? And meanwhile, Algar
the Great.
Algar the Fool.
It's only foolish if you die.
Yeah, it's interesting.
This thing angrily swings around at you and tries to kill you. Predictably.
Ranger versus Troll. Classic.
Right. This is either gonna be a real short fight, one way or the other.
And you can roll a d6 for initiative. And let's do the thing where we chuck out 3 attacks and then overlay them, so that we're not just going back and forth. A 6, well, house wins. Throw your 3 attacks. Oh,
that's a lot of damage. Goodness gracious.
And it's +2 versus, and it did it calculate the +2? Is that just to hit, or?
That's to hit and to damage for the +2 of the gold spear, and then another +5 for me being a ranger versus a giantoid.
Okay, describe how you instantly slay this thing.
There is a brief exchange of blows. There's a brief exchange of blows, but ultimately I just catch it under the throat, and nail it to a tree behind it. And then while it is pulling the spear out, I leap up I climb up the spear and stab it probably in the eye, and lever out like some essential nodule from its body, and it collapses.
You know exactly the right nodule. The troll gizzard from the troll brain, and you rip it out, and it slumps lifeless.
The gizzard. The nodule, the gizzard nodule right behind the left eye.
You know,
everybody knows that.
Yeah.
The ocular gizzard nodule.
Meanwhile, back with the ranks of everybody else that shows up eventually.
So yeah, I guess I will have webbed them.
You could do that. All right. So, what is your approach to these things that are terrified of you and like, you know, they just want to go? Yeah.
I guess we should wait for Algar to get back.
It takes a watch, but he returns.
Hello. I'm fine.
What news, Algar?
One of them did not fall prey to the misconstruence, but they fell prey to me.
Nice.
Did you see which direction? Was there any significance to the direction?
From here, they could be going almost anywhere. They were going north from the river. Actually, was there some significance to the direction?
Yeah. It tells you where they were going. That's pretty significant. Here, I thought we were going to have a leisurely sail to the dungeon of death, and here I am flipping.
I don't believe you for a moment.
Yeah, you know where they were going. They were going right here. It's a swampy, marshy place north of the river.
Right. I think we've encountered them there before.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, go ahead, Richard.
No, it's basically what you were saying. I believe the swamp is like their natural habitat. They're comfy there.
Well, let's roll and see whether or not we can get information out of these two. If so, Perderi, I'm just making suggestions. I'm sorry, I'm speaking up. What do you think?
You're good.
Yeah.
Having had my moment in the spotlight, I'm going to step away a moment and go to the restroom. I'll be right back.
Right.
I agree. Perderi agrees with Magnus. We should see what fish we get, and when that's done, we should tie up loose ends here and continue on our way. Mercifully, tie up loose ends.
Well, depending on their reaction, they might be useful to send a message.
That is fair. They're trolls, right? So, I mean, would Perderi know? Like, can they regrow and stuff like that? Or
Perderi probably wouldn't know that, but if you know that, you can use that information. You could say Perderi knows that.
I mean, I don't know.
I'm also wrong, by the way. Yeah, you could say you know that if you want, if it's fun for you. They went this way, into these hills right here.
See, that's what I thought, because last time, remember, we had heard tell on our way through here, coming from the south, I think, last time, through the woods or something.
Yeah.
We were looking north, and it was misty, and we saw a tower, and we'd heard tell of large creatures in the area that it was Margulgug that told us about it. It was when we were on our way to put paid to the fortress where Saint Caden had his end.
Right.
So Anyway, it was Margulgug told us that there were a bunch of large creatures that were serving, and he said, someone like me.
Right.
So if that's that might be Turlane's tower.
Yeah. I mean, is there any way to scout that by, not that we can't scout that from the river, can we? Is that worth it? Like moving past there, going on the other shore, back and forth a little bit to see if we can see a structure? But that's deviating from our goal. I'm just throwing it out there as an idea for the group.
Yeah, you guys could do whatever you want, to be clear. You don't have to.
Yeah.
But just a reminder, this is a huge map, so we're talking a day's travel, which you can totally do. I just want to point out the distance here. This range marker is accurate if you need to use it.
What is being proposed?
So go ahead and explain it.
No, you go ahead.
So
just wondering if. Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you're the caller. Do it.
Yeah, no.
I insist on AJ doing it. Give me your info.
So we have suspicion that we might have located Turlane's tower or thereabouts, down here to the south where the trolls were retreating.
Oh, right after you stood up, Ross said he was wrong, and you had actually tracked them south of the river, not north of the river.
Okay, that tracks.
And then I recognized those hills from when we passed them from the southern side on our way eastward to destroy that fortress the first time we used the horn.
And so the discussion now is what do we do with this information? Can we scout from the river? Do we do the day or so of travel to go there and deviate from our current plan, or do we continue on? I think either way, if we try to send a message with the trolls now, that will likely be something we have to deal with on the return trip unless we go a completely different path. So I don't know that there will be any message sending now. At the same time, if we we're going to have to deal with the trolls regardless, and that alone is going to be a message no matter what. But at the speed that it travels, will hopefully be slow enough that we can
Silence is more ambiguous.
Yes, I agree. Upon reflection, I agree. But we should still see if we can get any info from them.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, so you guys are thinking about bypassing this, like continuing on.
This will be a task for another day.
I see. Very well. What is your approach to trying to communicate with the Mossmen?
Algar, you speak the tongue, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any advice as to the best way to coax information from them? You spoke of them speaking simply like beasts. Perhaps we could bargain with them as beasts, food or comfort or something.
Food, I think, is the best thing to offer them. Like good food. Like, trying to think if we have time for me to try and do. What's the best food we have on board? Okay, that might do it. They might like that. I don't know. They'll either really like that or really hate it. It's hard to know how something will react to alcohol, but that's as good an option as any.
So what are you going to offer them?
Perderi's full drink ration for the trip.
You mean alcohol ration? Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wine. Yeah. So you.
And of course the implicit lie that no, we're not going to kill you after this, which is not something I'm thrilled about, but
yeah.
You present your cask now. I think it depends. I'm going to give you a +2 for this. This is going to be a reaction roll. I'll roll it in the open. Algar, what is your charisma?
Mid. It's like 9.
Okay, so it won't affect it. All right, so this will be a 2d6 +2, and you need to get an 8 because they are bound to their master, who they are terrified of.
As well, they should be.
A 10.
Very good.
Yeah, They, in their own tongue, are cowards. Perhaps things are worsening. Now, there's an interesting problem here. Magnus's minor misconstruence. How long does it last in total?
An hour.
I guess you could just cancel it too. You have that power, I think, or maybe not. I don't know.
Well, I've, as you just said, if it's not in the book, do it. I'm assuming that I can cancel a spell that I cast.
Yeah.
That's certainly how we've been treating Charm Person.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Yeah, so you could just turn that off so it's not a problem. Okay, so they are terrified of displeasing their master, Algar, but they are also terrified of displeasing you. And they beg, and they defecate on themselves, and they beg for, like they're pathetic. There's something going on here where Magnus's minor misconstruence has had an effect on them. It's terrifying for these beasts. Don't pity these things. Don't pity these things, Richard. They're horrifying. These things are gigantic. They're like 9 feet tall, and they're like covered in the blood of your allies and stuff.
Oh, there are lots of things that are I'm way bigger than who I would love to pity of. Anyway.
You're like, but I'm covered in the blood of their allies. So, I mean, I guess whatever. Anyways.
Yeah, I just killed a guy.
Yeah. So, the terror combined with the promise of something that you could offer, like how their master offers something. They devour the food and they swallow the casks of wine that you offer, Perderi. What is it that you ask them, Algar?
So, running this by the crew first. Mm-hmm. How about what defenses are about Turlane's tower? Or no, that might be too abstract. Is Turlane at his tower today? That they might not know.
I mean, yeah, confirming that is what it is would be big. Yeah. I was gonna say ask them how many there are, but I don't know if these things can count.
I don't think they can.
Ask them what their master thinks about me.
And also, just where is it? Like, point to where the direction is. It over there, kind of thing, just to confirm.
And then they do something interesting. They point on the bank of the river, the south side. I know I kept saying the north. It's the south. I went the wrong way. They point to the south side of the river, where there is a cavernous opening into the ground in two places next to each other. They point in the hole, and they say a name. They say, Fedorlois.
I'm gonna need you. You know what? I'm not gonna ask you to spell that because they can't spell. Fedorla.
Yeah. And they say it with terror, despite being like 8 foot tall, horrifying beasts.
Frankly, they're pretty skittish. Like in my experience with them, like they started running away from us a lot sooner than it necessarily made sense to. So that's not super shocking to me. These guys seem pretty easily spooked.
Well, I mean, we did nothing but kill them, to be fair.
Yeah, but
they may be on orders to just run and report at first sighting. Something else we should probably ask is if they have any more sentries or traps set up.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, good idea.
How do you phrase that? How do you describe trap to a mind that has the intelligence of a parakeet?
Are there more moss men like you on the river watching for us?
All in there, and they point in the holes.
Okay.
And to answer your first question, let me see here. They say no, he is not home.
That changes things a bit.
Ask him what Turlane's problem is with me. Why won't he leave me alone?
Why is Turlane so angry at the other mage?
To this, they just look really confused.
Yeah, that's probably above their pay grade.
But you said they were terrified of me in particular, or just of us in general?
Of us in general, I think. But like, you're the one who webbed them and who
Earlier.
ensorcelled them.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're terrified of this army of people that can kill them
Right.
right now, here and now. So yeah.
So is it? Do we know if Forgleg Ma or what was it again? Fedorla is Turlane?
Yeah, does the name Turlane actually mean anything to them?
Like, they're afraid of something in the hole. That's where they live. And what did they say? How do you know that Turlane's not home?
He did say that he's not.
Yeah, they said that.
What's that?
Yeah, go ahead. He's not home. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not home. If we go to the tower now, he won't be there to defend it. It's just his passive defenses. The question
Unless
is, where
not
is
home
he?
means something else, but I don't know. I kind of feel like I hear what you're saying about passing it by, but also they're going to dog us every time. And we've got all these adventurers, and these adventurers are fresh, and they're as we know from past experience, as soon as someone start dying, they're not going to want to come out with us anymore. So I don't know. I kind of wonder if we should just make a run at this.
I'm kind of feeling the same. How many of them are there? How many trolls, mossmen are there waiting for us there in the tower or in the caves?
I will communicate to them by using stones.
Oh.
I don't know if they're going to be able to grasp this, but I'm going to try and communicate the idea that, okay, there are two of you here, so there are two stones. There are this many stones. One for you, one for you. How many? And I'm going to start adding stones and say, how many are at the cave? It's like, stop me when it feels about right.
Because it amuses me that you're using a second grade a mathematical word problem. I'm going to say that this is possible, but it takes you like the better part of a watch to accomplish this.
That's okay.
All right.
Algar likes talking to weird creatures.
It is now evening, and night is falling. But, anyways, it goes on for some time where they insist that they are not stones. And this takes quite a while. Maybe you have to actually draw like mossmen, or make mossmen, or even drag their dead friend over and try to actually.
You got that chalk.
Get that +1 dagger, and I'm just going to sort of carve little faces on the stones.
Yeah, it's a painfully difficult experience to try to put these two people in class. The web will probably have to be recast. Undoubtedly, it'll have to be recast, or you'll have to bind them. Anyways, it's a really painful and unfortunate process, but eventually you come to the point where they also can't count. So eventually they just pile up a whole bunch of stones, and you guess that it's between 20 and 30 stones. But then the important thing is they take a mossy stone and they put 4 big mossy stones up front, and then one they put a stick next to, and they go, Fedorla.
Okay.
So maybe there's another magic troll, or
it could be
some other mage,
or the
priest,
greatest troll among them. I've heard mixed stories. I know I'm supposed to know everything, but I've heard very inconsistent stories about how the Mossmen organize themselves, and I've heard some stories that say that they have like a queen bee, like ants, but they don't lay eggs. There's just a single oldest troll that all the other trolls bud from, more like how certain plants send out shoots and runners. That's how the Mossmen reproduce. I've also heard stories that all the stories are as stupid as the last one. The long and short one is I assume that Fedorla is the greatest troll among them, and I don't know what that entails exactly.
Well, what we do know is that their gizzard is behind their left eye, and that's an important feature.
In fairness, if you reach behind almost anyone's left eye and pull out what you find there, they'll probably die.
Dun, dun, dun.
With trolls that works, and most parts of a troll you can pull right off and they won't die. But
so putting it before the group. So we have this place here now where we know there is this threat. Feels kind of urgent. On the other hand, we have the bridge tunnel that we know has been dogging us for a while. And did we get full confirmation that is what the moving mountain was referring to? Was that place specifically, or was it? I'm not sure if we got anything that specific.
You mean about the rock and what he said about the
stone? Yeah.
I don't want to bury. I don't want to bury this. I think your companions would know what the rock god thing was talking about, because they actually on their first second or third expedition led a crusade against this hole in the ground where it was being ripped open like a womb, like the earth. And they have seen things come out of the earth. Essentially, Rappan Athuk itself is like sickening the earth
Right.
to the point, and it's almost like you all have picked open this pimple, and now it's just like spilling out into places. So the rock thing is just like, I'm not going to give you any more rocks now.
Right.
You made a big mess. You have to clean it up before you can get more stones.
So yeah, if we go after this Thedorlua, we may have to turn back here again. So what are people's opinions on that?
I mean, he's a major... well, he's not there, but these trolls, this place, I'd like to... We owe him one. I mean, yes, those guys burned down the church, but he killed 16, 19 mercenaries, however many it was, and nearly blew up our brand new ship and tried to kill us all, and did kill several of us, and only because
Flanagan.
So
So
we're generally leaning towards returning the black eye. Is anyone opposed to that?
No, I think we should do it.
Yeah.
And not only that, but
is that 20 to 30 trolls is a lot of trolls.
yeah.
What
I can take one troll. I can't take.
We've still got the
take
horn.
3, let alone 30.
Yeah. What Jay? What were you saying?
Yeah, and the other part is that these trolls keep on consistently blocking our travel. Like, even if we go in and take out half of them, then I think that's a time well spent.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if we want to get to the cave, this is going to make that job easier too.
Yeah, at least have them licking their wounds for a little bit. What does anyone have any knowledge of trolls they would like to share?
Yeah, we
Any
have to
things that we can
burn
use
them.
when we fight them? Okay.
Burn them, yeah. So maybe we prepare a lot of fire, prepare a lot of means of fire.
Mm. Do we have much oil or?
Yes, we have I have several flasks, and we don't really need them for the lantern anymore because of Father Bloombad's holy symbol.
It's true.
So, we burn them out. I mean, go in, do what we can, prepare several arrows, that kind of thing, with wound about with cloth, ready to be lit and shot. Equip like every archer with 2 of them.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
And then just a couple of volleys, like a couple of. I mean, I don't know how spacious it is in there, but
there were 2 entrances, I believe was said, that we could see. So, do we try to push through one and out the other, and possibly have some sort of, I don't know, second? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. No. Sorry, I interrupted you. I was just I was thinking aloud. Sorry. Go ahead.
Or scout it out, and if there's tracks of the same type, like if we can ascertain that they use both entrances, a well-timed horn of blasting could collapse on a bunch somehow, or else block off an entrance.
Well,
I don't know.
Let's hold on to the horn as a backup, because we don't want it to frag grenade in our faces.
No,
the treasure.
Yeah. That's a tool that's been very helpful and
Yeah.
can continue to be helpful. But yeah, so do we want to? Yeah, so do we want to kind of two-prong it down both of them at the same time? Or I don't know how much scouting we're going to be able to do if there's that many of them.
We
And
have
it's
several
a-
thieves. We have several adventuring
Yeah.
thieves with us right now.
True.
We can send out all of them. And do we have any other extra rangers? I didn't notice.
Oh, there's only one ranger.
Okay. And that being Algar or one amongst the...
Algar is the only ranger,
Okay.
in the game.
Yeah. I'm not actually that stealthy, at least no more stealthy than anyone else who's trying to be stealthy, not compared to a thief.
Yeah.
What I am good is following trails and knowing what's going on around me. Concealment is not my forte.
Okay. I think everyone can start put on their plate and chainmail though, right?
Yeah. And then we should just take care of these two right now, I think. Unless there's anything more to be got out of them.
Yep. All right, so let me make sure I understand the plan. You're going to try to hunker down here and rapidly scout out the area with the fall of evening, with the with what thieves you have. Try to find out what you can in the remaining watch, and then in the nighttime, you're going to ingress into this place, assault it, and end the troll threat. Is that the goal?
I say right before dawn.
Sure.
That's traditional.
Okay.
Right before dawn. I mean, that'd be us camping very close to them the whole night.
Well, we've got to watch.
So,
No,
okay.
I'm concerned about their numbers. They definitely have more numbers than we do.
Right, but if we're close, we can see when they exit the cave. He just said they all proceed from there.
Let's vote. Algar, attack at night or wait until morning?
Morning.
Morning. Brian.
Oh, morning.
Morning.
Brian.
Bloombad.
Morning.
Morning. Okay, I think that's the majority. Okay. So you're going to wait through the night. Are you going to have the thieves go out, Perderi?
Yeah, we need to know at least what the entry looks like and how far back we may have to go. So yeah, send out the thieves. How many thieves do we have?
You've got 5.
I got 1. Okay.
That's a healthy amount.
That is, if anything goes wrong, at least they could maybe do a retreating attack.
5 opportunities for everything to go wrong.
2 of the thieves do not return. But of those that do, you have some good news. The thieves check the area. They look, and the 2 tunnels pointed out by these 2 mossmen are flooded. And in fact, if were you to try to carry your equipment through that area, you probably would have drowned. But those who are lightly equipped, they're confident that they could lead them by holding rope to bring people in. And the other thieves found 2 other entrances. Now, the 2 other entrances are muddy and bog-like. And so those coming in with plate will move very slowly and not stealthily. But you now have 4 entrances to this place. I'm going to move you over as we start to, make our battle plans through the night, presumably to attack at dawn.
Do we have any ways other than the rod or web of closing off any of these?
Bonfire.
Bonfire, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
The problem is that spinning up a proper bonfire takes a while.
Right, and if it's muddy, then it's going to be fighting us.
So, also, I can cast I can reserve 1 casting of Magnus's Minor Misconstruence and see what happens. before we actually start the attack, if I can get within 120 feet of a few of them. Or maybe we worry about that, and maybe if I don't know.
Okay.
We know that sleep spells aren't going to be effective against them.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
Let's freeze up some space. It's possible that Fedorla is a spellcaster, so having a couple magic missiles spun up to interfere with them is probably useful.
I'm thinking 3 magic missiles and 1 misconstruence to use if we discern a large group of them.
One of Perdari's followers is a level 3 magic user, so open to any suggestions you have for what he should prepare.
It looks to me like they only had 1 spell apiece, all the magic users.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mine does. Mine has sleep. Yours says... Oh, yours doesn't say anything. Okay. Why did I think mine said sleep? Hold on. What? Oh, I pasted the wrong one.
Oh, it doesn't say what the spell is.
No, Bloombad's does. And Magnus's does.
I don't have any, just so you know.
Okay, so yeah, you need a magic user spell. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Both of us do.
I think mine has... Oh, does mine have shield, or is he equipped with a shield? I think he might have the shield spell. Okay.
And what level magic user, Jay?
Level 3. For me, at least.
They know level 3. They know Charm Person, Shield, and ESP. They have those 3, and they also have. They also have a scroll of magic missile and sleep.
Cool.
Would that be the same for my magic user?
What level
3 as well?
You also have a level 3 one?
Yeah.
Your level 3 magic user has Charm Person, Light. By the way, I use Light the same way it is in BX, so you can use it as a flashbang grenade against one monster.
Okay.
Charm Person, Light, Mirror Image, and that's it. Yeah.
Okay. And the clerics all pray for those spells, so they'd have basic cure wounds, right?
They should be listed there. Did I not have them listed? Cleric 3 has 2 cure light wounds, for example. The other cleric...
I have 2 cleric 1s that don't have anything.
They won't have spells.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not even with bonus spells?
No, I don't think clerics do. I looked at it. And I also have a thing. I have a thing here where I roll and it's like blocked out. So.
Okay.
All right. So let's talk about. Let's figure out the plan. So you're here in the night, and you've got 4 points of entry. What's the plan, Perdari? Yeah.
So.
Let me actually move you all back and kind of draw some stuff.
So two of the passages were muddy, and then one of them was flooded, and so that really leaves one passage. Am I remembering that correctly? That's unobstructed.
Okay. Let me actually draw. You're here on the river, trying to camp out, trying to remain unhidden. And so, yeah, these 2 next to the river turn out to be flooded. And then you also have, they find 2 more entrances elsewhere, and they are muddy going down, bog-like.
Okay. So flooded entrances are pretty much no-go for anyone with armor. The muddy ones are going to be obvious with armor, and slow going.
The flooded ones are traversable by armor if they are being escorted by someone who is not in armor.
Okay.
I think we got that earlier. They have to be led by a rope.
Okay.
That sounds like not good fighting.
Yeah, if we get caught in that, that would not be good. So we would need to get
Our
a
actual
decent number of
strength
people
right
across.
now, our actual strength right now is these numbers. So we have to pick the one that's going to let us use the numbers.
Yeah.
Stealth isn't really a thing.
Yeah, this is kind of wild because, I mean, they might come out and come behind us. That's one thing. Like, we can charge into a hole here, and, like, we're going to have to watch our back.
Father Bloombug, do you have your sticks to snake spell?
Yeah, I do.
How do we feel about maybe using that to at least slow down 2 of the entrances?
Oh, that's still not a bad idea. How long does that last?
I mean, it would be very useful to have in a direct conflict, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to use it unless we knew there were trolls to kill.
Right.
'Cause
Yeah.
one poisonous bite.
right.
Yeah, this is rough because, I mean, we're taught this is like a scout has told us where these cave entrances are, so we're having to like use this information.
If somebody comes behind us, I can cast web. I mean, it'll fill up a tunnel.
Maybe we just need to go for it. Does the scout know if any of the boggy tunnels, if one was larger than the other? Like, if we've got a 5-foot single file tunnel and we've got a 20-foot wide tunnel, maybe that would be our decision.
Yeah.
And we just gotta like go in fast and just like we got bogged down in something like this before and it was nasty, but maybe that's what we have to do is just pick one and charge in the biggest hole there is.
Yeah.
I think we have to make some decision, right?
Or
go ahead.
Yeah.
Or the ultimate nightmare, splitting the columns and hoping that they meet somewhere and
So
flanking.
let's do it. Let's make don't let me forget all the details. I'm hearing sticks to snakes ready as soon as you like maybe getting set up. The ones that are flooded, maybe the surviving thieves, so that you don't get bogged down, and then having everybody lined up and you just try to get in there as fast as possible, knowing that that's like a fatal funnel and you're going to just try to get in there because am I hearing that correctly?
Well, Jay was wondering whether or not there was a bigger entrance, whether one of the 2 boggy tunnels was bigger than the other.
Yeah, they're
how big are they?
Horribly claustrophobic.
But big enough for trolls to get out of?
Yeah, you get the impression that this is a place where trolls can... you've seen this before. They can act... They kind of just like wallow. Like they can get on muddy surfaces and in ponds and bogs and just like float around and stuff.
They're very comfy in the slime.
Yeah, this is their happy
There's
place.
probably like pitfalls full of like quicksand like mud. You know what I mean?
If they're that narrow, then perhaps we should go back to the bonfire option.
Oh yeah. So what's the bonfire option?
Just to block a couple of them with bonfires and then close off those options so that we are more secure from the raid.
That strikes me as wise.
I mean, and then if we do that, then we're definitely attracting attention. But then we're if they come out of one hole, we kill them as they come out. But they also might be prepared inside too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we can't bonfire these flooded ones, probably.
Right. It'd probably have to be the kind of marshy, muddy ones. The bonfire hopefully be able to sit on top of the soft ground. But with those. So if we close both those off, those are the narrow ones. That leads us back to the water. So we would have to. That seems like it's still a valid option. We could try to send the people that are less flowed by the water forward to have kind of like a defensive line there. Maybe some people wearing leather and stuff like that instead of heavy armor, and then try to get everyone else across behind them. Or was the flooded tunnel also narrow? These were all narrow?
They're all narrow.
Okay.
I mean, tactically, I feel like we're going to lose 80% of our men at least.
Yeah, me too.
There's going to be losses for sure. But does that sound? Do we want to still aim for a muddy tunnel, or do we want to aim for a water tunnel? What does anyone have any strong inclination either way?
I think muddy. I don't think we should do a water tunnel. Like if we're being led, if we've just put a bunch of people in.
Pros of water tunnel is we could potentially be a little stealthier. We might have a little bit more of surprise on our side. Muddy tunnel is less likely to drown, but it's going to be noisy. It's going to be slow.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
so now I'm hearing three options. One is smoke them out, and we're gonna just go around. We're gonna make a decision. It's okay. We got smoke them out, however you do it. Assault via the. I'm hearing like by one side. I should note. It would be very difficult to get a large volume of chainmail and plate armored people via the flooded tunnels, and very quickly.
We're probably gonna have to take both the marshy tunnels.
Yeah, I think that's probably so. Do you want to smoke them out, or do you want to assault it? And let's go around, starting with Perderi. Which one would you prefer?
So we were going to smoke. We were just going to use fire to block.
Okay, you were going to block, and you can do any of them, so you can set them up. Okay.
Smoking them out is a great idea, though.
Yeah,
I think that's possible.
That's true.
All right.
Are they ill-suited to smoke?
No, you can do this, absolutely. Let's see here.
We can just do that then.
All right,
Have them come out to us.
So since by deduction, then I conclude that you're going to probably block the ones that you could actually fight from. So you smoke the other ones. Let me see if I can move this stuff here. There we go. All right. So yeah, you get set up here, and you get ready to set some fires. How many people do you have set the fires? This all occurs in the next morning.
Let's say the half that are whatever you think, AJ. Well, my thought would be the half, just to keep it simple, the front line half. Then we could just simplify it into, we've got the halberd bowmen that are in behind. The front line can pick up their swords if something happens.
Mm-hmm.
And Brian will be with the people who are setting the smoke. He'll be in the front, whatever that means.
Magnus, your goblin, makes noises all night. It makes it hard to sleep.
I'm going to just keep him tied up. I'm going to tie him up in the sack.
Yeah.
Tell him to be quiet.
Right.
And I'm going to ready him as a missile weapon.
Nice. He seems to respond well to that. All right. Okay. So yeah, you get everything set up, and I'm sorry, how many people do you send down there again? I apologize. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll say you need at least 4 in order to set these fires, because it's going to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Right. Okay, I understand what you're saying. Sure. Brian's not going with them then.
Okay. All right.
That's fine.
So here you go. You set up these fires. You set up a signal. The fires get lit. You start to see the smoke rising, and then you are you waiting? Is that what it is for them to come out these tunnels?
I would like to suggest, just because there's a chance that it could do something, and I did memorize it, that as soon we wait and hold, not make any noise if we can until they're we start to hear them come out, and then I would like to cast that spell again.
Okay.
Because it's no good in combat, really. I mean, the time scale changes.
Algar, roll a d6.
I'm going to direct my magic user to look for other signs of smoke above the trees elsewhere.
Wow, nice. You do that, and you find signs of smoke elsewhere. Algar, you find smoke out here somewhere, like off to the west. Oh. And Algar, you don't see smoke coming out of these holes, and instead a couple of these mossmen, they poke their heads up and they see you, and then they run back inside.
Can I cast my
I guess
spell?
it's time to go plug. I guess it's time to go plug their chimneys. Of
Yeah.
course they'd have chimneys. Why wouldn't they? All right.
Well, let's make a go here now. They know we're here. We gotta take action. I think, right?
We should send this. We should send the thieves to go plug the chimneys because they're, they're going to be the lightest equipped and the least skilled for direct engagement.
If they are chimneys and not other tunnels, they could be other tunnels that they didn't discover on their first trip. Magnus was asking about his spell. Does that go off?
We would use the combat procedure for that. So if you want to enter combat, but let's start from the top.
No,
so
okay.
starting with Perduri, what's the plan for the group?
Well, it doesn't look like they're coming this way. They're not being forced this way. Not in the numbers we were hoping. Do we want to leave a detachment here and split?
Go ahead, Brian. Go ahead, Magnus.
I don't think so, because that's a lot of trolls, as has been said. So I feel like we need to all stay together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then let's go with Algar's suggestions and the thieves to go. If they are chimneys, to plug the chimneys. If they're not, then report back if there's another tunnel or something.
Okay. These people report back. It's taking about a watch so far. So you send the thieves to plug the chimneys, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And
All
scout
right.
if they are chimneys even. Yeah.
Let's see here. They come fleeing back in terror. And you're just hear them running as they're running across the swamp. They weren't chimneys. and then you just hear, like, I don't know what else to say except like a warhammer, like a wog, as like the whole forest shakes as there's dozens of these things around you in the marshes, just everywhere.
Oh boy!
Every bit of peat, every bit of swamp could be one of these things that could be rising up from the ground. The forest floor shakes.
This reminds me of not that I was there, and I don't know if this is like not cool to say for some reason, but like what I've heard of Vietnam jungle warfare or any Pacific war where people were going in and it's like people were entrenched in holes and caves and tunnels and had all kinds of ways around that the people attacking didn't have any idea about, and suddenly it's just like you're just totally flying blind, right?
Operating on a.
And I'm going to move this whole map kind of forward because I don't have a lot to work with here. So
they could be behind us. They could be in front of us. Maybe we just need to circle up here, like get the wizards in the middle and form a perimeter.
Well, it seems like they're mostly coming from that one direction. So that I think should be our strong side. But we definitely don't want to leave the rear completely exposed.
Yeah, Ross said that it seems like they could be anywhere, and I wanted to like. I think he's telegraphing. He might be telegraphing.
He might be telegraphing.
Yeah.
Is he softening his foot? Can anyone see? No.
Okay, so eventually these things do just appear around you. Some of them have maneuvered around. Some of them are chasing the people that are running.
Okay.
And all right, top of the round, the plan. So you said that you keep the spellcasters in the center. You can move your tokens around however you need to do this.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? Okay, this is like the classic Jake. Hold on a second before we get into combat here. Like there is a lot of trolls here. We're not on a boat. I feel like if we're not careful, we're all gonna die, and what is our retreat path right now? Like we've got a barge, right?
That you left
I
back
wonder
at
if-
the river, to be clear.
Yeah, I wonder if this is like fighting retreat to the barge situation. Like,
Yeah, I think so.
do you know what I mean?
There's some big ones in the back. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some real big ones. I don't even know what that is. There's like a picture of looks like a Call of Cthulhu Shub-Niggurath situation going on.
I wonder if this works actually.
He's just grumpy looking.
I mean, we knew there was a lot of them, right?
Right.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, I know.
We were
yeah.
hoping for a fatal funnel though, and that did not work.
What is that, like some kind of altar there or something?
I didn't mean to drag the altar out here. I'll get rid of the altar. But you do hear, like, you have that familiar thing in Magnus. You hear like something reverberating, and you touch your nose and you can feel blood, and you hear like a cackling noise. And all right, let's see. So we're doing a fighting retreat. So you will need to.
Well, that's what I proposed. I mean, I don't know what you all, the rest of you think. That was just something I was throwing forward.
What's your vibe, AJ?
I mean, do we think we could take them in a foot fight? That there's a lot of them. They take a few hits to go down. I don't know that we can win
not really.
that. Yeah. So, I mean, we still have all the oil and stuff like that we had prepared for the tunnels, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we could open with that and then try to capitalize on the chaos that sows to push towards a retreat.
Okay. A wall of burning oil that we retreat behind?
Yeah, that's a solid plan if we can swing it.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Chris?
I agree, and I think that if we win initiative, we should open with a volley of everyone firing their 2 arrows. I don't, Ross, we talked about that, but didn't ask you directly. How many arrows can we make, like, per flask of oil?
Oh, we're talking about making flaming arrows again? This is a real oldie time. This is an oldie. We haven't talked about this in a while. We're trying to make flaming arrows. I can't remember how this conversation went, but I'm usually averse to constructing a flaming arrow on the spot over
No, we would have done it.
We were doing that for whenever we were barring the tunnel.
It was part of our planning discussion.
I apologize. I thought I was probably doing stuff. So you collapsed the south tunnels using flaming arrows combined with
No, we set bonfires there, but we also wanted to use oil flasks to make flaming arrows the night before, or like meet out 2 of them each to the archers.
Oh, no, you can just.
Sort of like,
I apologize. I did miss that, but you can use. I'm pretty sure, unless I am crazy, the oil flask is a missile weapon, and so that's what it would be used for.
Okay.
Yeah.
So. Okay, but but does that mean we could not make flaming arrows? We can only use a missile flask with whatever range that is?
Yeah, I think so. It's your missile weapon is a flask. I can look. I guess it's important, but.
Well, what I had suggested was we wrap, torch style, wrap a bunch of soaked rags around the arrowheads and.
Well, let's keep moving. We are bogging down big time here. We're retreating. Is that right? Yes, we're retreating.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's get to all that in a bit. You are in a bog, so trying to set it aflame will be difficult. Trying to use fire is a possibility regardless of how you construct it. So here we go. Top of the round, spells.
It's the snakes.
Six snakes. I gotcha.
Magic missile.
Oh.
And then what's the range on light?
Oh, no. Magnus's minor misconstruence. Because why the hell? Some of them will have to make a save right away. They might fail immediately, and it might help. I don't know.
Yeah.
Ross, how far is the... there's no human... what is that? Can you just describe what that brown thing is?
This is... this thing looks like an orc, or not an orc, sorry, a moss man, but it's covered in fetishes and strange things.
Okay.
It's holding a staff, And on the staff is a sculpture of what looks like a man, like a muscular man, with a two-handed sword lifted up above its head. But anyways, okay, so yeah, spells light. You're in range to cast light, and you see something happening, a glow coming from that staff. Roll a d6 per area, please.
D6.
By the way, AJ, this is an exceptionally complicated session to be calling.
Yes, it's true. It's true. And you just rolled a 6. You're all able to act first. And let's see here. Spells, initiative, movement, and missile fire. So if you are... Let's talk about your troops. They're going to hold the line. Is that right? The downside to holding the line is then that's all they do on this turn. But you could also have a move forward and attack with 2 ranks. So...
I'd like to suggest that the troops they're doing missile fire, and their missile fire is a wall of flaming oil. Like that's our this is our one chance to get something down.
Use the flaming wall. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'll believe you all if you tell me that it's a missile weapon in this game. I get this game and BX mixed up all the time.
You're the one who said it.
Well,
it's our real thing, right?
It is.
Okay, I believe you.
Good.
All right. How much damage is it?
It's under the lantern oil. Okay, so as a thrown weapon, it causes D4 on a successful hit and 1 more point of damage per round for the next 2 rounds.
Nice.
And it can also be used to create a hazard for pursuing monsters. That's straight out of the book.
Gotcha. Yeah, so that's what we'll use. Yeah, so we'll roll to hit, which would be 10 across. Is Perdiri, why don't you roll 10 d20s?
All right.
Yeah, and more important is a wall. I mean, maybe it's not going to be.
I'll say that happens regardless. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Okay, so your target is armor class 15, so you hit 1, 2, 3 times. So you can roll for damage 3 times.
So it's D4s?
Yeah, D4s.
Pretty good damage. Very good for D4.
So you got 3, 3, and 4 on 3 attacks. And then it also creates this, either way, you just have this like line of fire that you create here. Now, what this does is it at least gives you, let me make sure because it has something here about this. Okay. Yeah. You create this line of fire in front of you, and smoke and all this kind of stuff, and it delays them another round. So that's what that does. So they spend their round confused by this, and they have no missile weapon. That's all your troops. You guys can still act. So if you are firing your missile weapons, you can do that.
All right. Brian fires 2 arrows at the gizzard, the eye gizzard of the shaman.
All right.
I am also going to fire a sling at the shaman from back here.
Armor class 15.
I do 4 damage. 4 damage to the shaman.
Shots.
Get it right up her nose.
That is big sling damage right there. I mean, that is that's a headache.
I get 1 attack per round, but it hits hard if I get lucky. If I'm against the right kind of opponent.
Suddenly the voices in the air stop and you hear a shriek of pain. It is a feminine shriek of pain. A mutated and garbled feminine shriek of pain. And anyways, let's see here. And also, Perdiri hits twice, right? Yeah. For a total of 6. Is that also targeting the
same one, yeah.
Okay.
It's good considering his last 5 arrows missed.
All right. Any other missile weapons that I missed there? I got Brian, Algar, and Perdiri. No? Okay. And then you cast Sticks to Snakes. We said that could act on the same turn. If it's amongst them, yeah, you can roll for however many.
3 poisonous.
All right. Yeah, you can.
And two blockers.
Which ones do you have the poisonous ones attack this turn? That's a good idea with blocking and all that stuff too.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe these ones up here.
Okay.
One of each on the front ranks of 3d20.
So one of them hits. I'll roll a save. And 11. It passes, unfortunately. All right. So let's see. I think is that everybody's got to act, and then they're not going to be able to move or do missile fire. You interrupt. Oh yes, spells.
Well, I was assuming we were spells because Sticks to Snakes just went off.
Yeah. You can do your
so
magical or minor misconstruence. Yes.
Yep. Well, only 5 of them are affected.
I see. Can you control which 5? Can you like pick?
Well, I'm going to center it on.
Okay.
On the lady, and we'll see whether or not. So I want at least her, and then I guess 5 around her. That's where the most misconstruence should happen, I think.
I see. Yes. All right.
So they get saves.
She gets a nat 20, unfortunately. However, her companions get.
I don't know how much.
They're pretty great too. One of them fails, and then another one fails. Of course, you wouldn't know this yet, but let me see what they start doing. I guess you would actually know by their actions as you observe them.
Possibly. It'll take a little while for it to unfold, probably, but.
This one starts beating this one up and immediately kills him for disobeying. just like takes his head and just goes like that. These things are big, by the way. They're like twice as big. Okay, so really? I think, and then you interrupted her spell, so there's nothing else they can do.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's light as well. I had a mage casting light. I was going to try to cast it in her face to flashbang her as well.
That'll be another save. Let me see if that... she'll miss her next turn if she fails. She fails, and she is blinded this next turn. So, whoops, that's the wrong button. Okay, top of the round. You can... So if you choose to move... You can't fire a missile. So if you guys are moving to the boat, you'll all move. Is that what you want to do? Okay. If you're doing that...
Spells? Same thing? Or?
Yeah, I just wanted to get the total plan first, like for the whole group. And I'm skipping ahead in the procedure just so we can, at least so I could visualize it. I'm wrong, actually. This didn't... I'm missing part of this, actually. These ones down here are not affected by that line of fire. That they get to move. So they're going to move up and attack. I missed that. Yeah, there's a whole problem about these thieves running for their lives. That's like a different issue. But meanwhile, this body here is like trapped, and then this one's going to be dealing with snakes. I'm going to have them attack the snakes. Okay, so... 6, 8.
Yikes.
The life of a thief.
Yes.
Oh, wait, did they all miss?
No, there was a 19 and a 17 in there.
Yeah, they will hit. And they also get a +6 to attack. So let's see. We're talking about the thieves. So let me just quickly glance over. The thieves have 13, 14... 13 and 13, and I don't really think any amount of so all of it will hit essentially except for 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 8 claw attacks. Whoops, I did the wrong thing. 8 claw attacks. I don't think they're going to survive. I don't think there's any mathematical way to do this. I'm just going to glance over their hit points real fast. 3, 1 hit point. He was going to be a hero today. This was going to be his day. 9 hit points. Yeah, there's not any mathematical way for them to make it out of this. There's another third attack coming, so the thieves get just like devoured by these creatures. Now they're further behind. They're not. These things haven't caught up yet. They're about to become a problem for you, because you're going this way. All right. Meanwhile, the snakes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attacks on the snakes.
Defensible ground.
I think 3 of them hit. This is just the first round of attacks for 6 damage, 4 damage, and 4 damage for 3 snakes. Okay, so that kills 3 snakes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then they also have another attack. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4 with their bite attacks. So let's see. Another snake takes 1 point of damage, 2, 7, and 8. All right. And then that stops them. Are there any snakes left?
I think they're all dead.
Oh, crap. Okay, that sucks. Okay. Alright, so all the snakes are dead. That will also become... Alright, so now back on your turn. You're going to spend your turn moving, so I'm just going to kind of move you back to where the boat would be.
Okay.
No, and you can still do other stuff. I just haven't... Just to visualize what's happening here. And you are, like, running and everything. Go ahead.
Right, and it's like the only thing we can do is melee, right? Because if you're casting spell or missiles, you can't be moving, right?
That's right.
I think Brian would be shouting out for all men at arms to the right, like to get us between them and like to block off this. Where I just put that pink line there. Oh, I can't delete it. Whoops.
That's all right.
It can get caught by someone else.
Yeah, okay.
Algar does want to be on the front line if it's possible for him to maneuver himself into that position.
You can do that.
Like I'll definitely be up there and get like all the spellcasters get behind, get to the boat. Because then next round you can help out, but we need to block. And to be clear, I think there's like I would love it if some of the NPC spellcasters, like not all these adventurers are fighters, right? I mean, I'd like to suggest that the wizards aren't up with us doing this.
So you can do that. So I just and I think that sounds. The spellcasters are trying to run away. Is that fair to say? Like they're not going to try to wade into the combat. Does that make sense? No,
yes.
No down votes on that one. Okay, so you do that. Father Bloombad and Magnus and the remaining spellcasters, they make it to the boat. You form this line. That's where you are on this turn. The ones up above you, they've lost their turn, and these are going to spend their movement to catch up. So you see how like I only need parts of the procedure, right? I don't always have to go the whole procedure. Yes. So I forgot. Also, John's character has a bow attack, so he did 6 damage to one of them. So, anyways, that brings us to here. Now, the spellcasters aren't going to get to cast a spell. You can. Well, that's it. Yeah. But you guys move up, and these are able to get here and attack. These are dead. I'm going to get them out of the way. So this comes down to initiative. So Perduri, if you would roll a d6, please. And then you see these big guys moving,
Yes, nice
join. Nice, yeah. House wins. You are able to do your melee attacks first. Perduri, yeah, you can roll, what is it, 20? No, it's 20 minus 22 minus 4, 18 minus, well, gosh, I guess I have to quickly look here. However many melee you have, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You can roll 12 d20s to hit.
Nice. And what's their armor class, Ross?
Their armor class, the target is ascending armor class 15.
Dang, okay, I miss.
1, 2, 3. 3 hit.
Ah,
And
Not
they
as nice.
mostly do d6 damage. But maybe I'm wrong. I'll glance at it real quick here. Make sure I'm not. Oh, wait, no, it's d8 because you had pole arms. 13 damage to one of them. A monster. But it wasn't one of the ones on the front rank, so you wound
It's
one of
D8
them.
plus 1.
And that's... I did not mean to do two-handed.
So it's 1, 2, 3, d8, and then plus 1 to each of those results.
3d8?
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, so you do 9 damage across the front. 9.
12, right?
Oh, sorry, 12, yes. Okay. All right. And let's see, that makes it their turn.
here we go.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see. I think all of those will hit. And so they get 3 attacks. So I'm going to do 2, 4, 6, 8. Plus 4 of these. Or actually, I did that math wrong. But anyways. 2, 4, 6, 8. 6, 8. And then another 4d8.
You know what, Ross? If it's plus 6, because we outfitted them with plate, 3 of those would miss.
Ah, okay.
Right? 17 armor class is plate and shield. Or...
3 of those would miss. All right, I'll just discount the first 3. So let's see here. If that's the case, and they get 2 attacks each. 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. And they have to attack twice. I'll just discount the first one entirely. The second one, you said 3. And that's -1, so... Alright, it's looking bad either way. Let's see here. We got... No, these guys are tough. 18 hit points. Alright, you only have to get on the boat and try to survive. So I'm just looking for like low hit point folks here.
Oh no.
And I'm actually
Yeah,
I'm not finding them. Like I think most of these people will survive.
I have 2. Fionuala and Cathal are both have 3 hit points.
Yeah.
Odrin
The fighter
has
1.
4.
I'm just going to say these 2 die. I think the math easily bears that out. These fighters. But still pretty dang good considering everything. Okay, so now this kind of changes the rules, okay? But in the future maybe I'll use the D6 mass combat rules, but I had an idea of why I was doing it this way. I know usually once you're in melee you can't just move without getting hit. But I'm looking at this like a mass combat. So you make it here. Let's see. Is there anybody else that needs to move or attack this round? I think that's it. Okay, so we're back at the top of the round. You can see her staff lighting back up again. And these big guys are like running toward the water.
Awesome.
And these are like trying to like rush towards you as well. They will make it on this turn in the back rank. Now I'm skipping ahead. I'm just describing what's going to happen. Like this is what's happening in a matter of seconds here. Top of the round, still retreating. Is that the plan?
I mean, we need to get defensible ground, right? We need to get to the boat.
Yeah.
Maybe get
Okay.
a little distance.
All right. So you're still trying to get on the boat. Spellcasters, I'm going to say that you can cast a spell. And in this round, like, as everybody's trying, because everybody's trying to get on the boat this round anyways. Okay, so you can cast spells. So, any spells?
Magic
I'm going to
missile.
cast Finger of Death on the woman.
Nice.
Oh, man.
Nice.
God, I need better spells.
If I can declare one for an NPC, Aislinn, the for third level magic user, would use her Scroll of Magic Missile on the shaman as well.
Nice.
Moore is going to cast Mirror Image.
Your image. Okay. Let me know, how that bears out the math. I think it affects that if they get attacked. Okay, so, Finger of Death. What does it look like when Father Bloombad, is about to do that?
I point, and I do like a crushing motion with my finger, like over her, and like a big glowing finger appears over her head and tries to smash her skull in.
She holds up her totem, and you see likewise a dark energy above your own head as the air splits above you. And we'll see who wins. And
Oh my gosh.
let's see here. That's a spell.
Is she finger of deathing Bloombad back?
Yep.
Oh my god. So this is an initiative and or saving throw situation.
And saving
is that
throw.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So let's see. I'm sorry. And Magnus, what was your spell again?
Magic missile.
Magic missile. Okay. And who are you targeting?
The mage.
Indeed. Yes, indeed. Okay.
Oh, no.
Maybe sounds obvious. Okay. So, you get ready to try to interrupt this spell as fast as you can. And roll a d6 per dairy.
So I did accidentally roll a d6 earlier, but that was completely on accident, but I dropped that.
Go ahead, roll it again. Yeah, it's fine. I believe you. Nice. All right, let's see what I get. Well, we'll see what happens. We still got to see. All right, top of the round, everyone's moving. You're fleeing to the boat. This all, by the way, happens in like 60 seconds or so. All this combat and fleeing and everything going on. You move. Melee will happen first. So you all can make your melee attacks. Same number of melee attacks per dairy.
I miss again.
All right.
I think Brian is just screaming at the top of his lungs, like, retreat, fall back, watch your back, and just
Those are good rolls.
That is just rolls.
helping people up as they're tripping over in the bog, parrying these massive hands from these things.
I think at least 3 of those hit. So you can roll your d8s plus 1s.
This is a rout at the moment, it feels like.
Yeah.
That's true. But, let's see if we can successfully route.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I love it.
If we kill this mage, it will seriously demoralize the whole group.
And I see Perdiri also hits for 6 damage. It seems to do little it seems to have almost little effect against the hard mossy hides of these things as you hack into them. Algar hits. Oh no.
Not quite.
Oh no. The one who needs to hit. Yes. Brian, anybody else rolling to hit? Nope. Okay. Okay, so I think that's everybody. It is their turn. 2, 4, 6, 8. These will make it next round into the water to block passage this way and start moving toward the boat. That's obviously what they're doing. These are circling around. They did make it this round. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12.
This would make an amazing scene in a movie.
Okay, they have plus 6 to hit, which is 15, 15, 18, 16. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7 of them hit. And then it starts to go south. That's their first attack. And a nat 20. And these are d8s. So 1, 2, 3, 4 d8s. Okay. I think a lot of people are going to die there. 4 d8s, 21 damage. I think that's going to take out a couple of your big ones there. You've got D44 is 12 and 64 is 15. I'm just going to take out some of the big ones. That'll make the math easier. So let's see here. You got a 18 hit point. Frangag goes down. And Ossian, 20 hit points goes down.
Okay.
And let's see. Fighter 1, hit point 6, Fergus. Okay. So you're losing some of them. Actually, I think the math was a bit wrong, but because we lost 1 or 2 last time. You lost 3 this time, so. But anyways, you're doing that. You make it to the boat this turn as all this is happening. You know, it gets crowded down here. They start to surround you. These start going out into the water. And it comes down to magic. So, let's start with Father Bloombad. I think it's just a saving throw, right? She has to make a saving throw.
Save her spells.
All right, here we go. Maybe. Let me see. She fails. This sky is split up above these two figures, and you see this light pour down, and you hear a screeching noise as this being of evil is shattered.
Oh. That came down to if they succeeded, that would have been like about 50-50 chance Bloomhead would have been dead, hey? And that's no more raised dead. That was awesome.
Now they are going to make a morale check.
What happens to the rest of the magic missiles?
I can't remember. I think you can save your spell or they fire into
That's
it, right?
entirely up to you. The book is not specific about.
I'll say you
even
can save
having
it. I'll say
target.
you can save the spell. Yeah.
Okay.
But actually, I don't think we've been declaring targets, so you can just declare a target. We can look at that
we
later,
had-
but
yeah.
Who do you want to target?
Well, I mean, any one of the ones that's wounded.
Sure.
I mean, if there are any that are wounded.
Totally.
Sure, I'll do the same.
Okay.
This magic missile be 1d4 plus 1 or something?
Yeah. And then if you're level 5 or above, you get 2 extra.
Well, you have to hit.
You don't have to hit unless if you want to. If you want to roll to hit, you can. But and then if
you
you
more
do it,
damage.
it's a D6. Yeah, D6
Oh, weird.
plus 1.
Okay, I'll just do the 1d4 plus 1.
All right. I did 12 damage.
I'll do 2.
2 damage. Okay. So altogether, you are able to take down one of the wounded ones. These things surrounding you, you're able to do a fighting retreat onto the boat, and you enter. Three from another magic user for a magic?
No, that's Moore has 3 mirror images.
Okay. Nice. Alright, so you get onto the boat. And then these things are just enraged. Like they're just like rushing toward the water. But at this point you have some choices. I'm going to toss the ball back over to Perderi. At this point, with the boat going upstream, they will not be able to catch up to you. So you can get everybody rowing and you can flee, and they're not going to be able to catch up with their speed. Or you can turn around and try to fight from the water and keep fighting.
Are we satisfied with the shaman being slain? Is that a big enough blow?
If they can't catch up to us, we can keep firing arrows until we're out of arrows.
True. Don't know how long they're going to keep up the case.
Finish them off.
Yeah. Are we sure that the shaman is finished off? Do we need to do anything with?
You're sure. I should
Okay.
say Father Bloombad is sure.
Is
Okay.
it possible for Magnus to turn invisible? And do you have invisibility, Magnus?
I don't.
Okay.
Like I said, I genuinely need better spells at this point.
It'd be amazing to go grab
Fly
that
back and
thing
try to
back.
grab her staff.
Exactly.
That's the thing. I can fly. Can we get a bunch of them coming after us, and then can I fly back around and grab?
Yeah,
them?
maybe. Like, why don't we try that?
Now, so you can do that. First of all, let me start with the group though. Let's start with Perduri.
Yep.
So, as a group as a whole, is the plan to broadly speaking, we got two options:
Mhm.
run or fight. But, like however you slice it, those are the two
Yeah.
options.
So we're going to fight at least until Magnus can get back.
All right, so you're going to get on the boat and you're going to start firing arrows and fending them off the boat. You've done that before. We're actually going to use the combat procedure for that. We'll get back to that in a second. So that's one scene that's going on over here is they're like trying to board the boat and capsize it, and you've got halberds and you're trying to knock them off. Now these big boys are going to get there in like one round, and they could probably capsize the boat. Now don't worry. Let me sum it all up. Magnus, can you get there and fly? Yes, you can do it. Here's the deal. If you get there, there is a chance that a troll might be there. It's that simple. That's all. It's possible.
Well, if that's the case, simply don't proceed.
I won't. So then, will I have a chance not to descend? Or are you saying there's one that's like hiding and ready to pounce if I come near?
Yeah, they have that ability. And I'm not going to reveal what the math is, but it is not impossible for there to be a troll there amongst its dead matriarch and fallen.
Well, then I will prepare to cast web.
Nice. Okay, so you fly, prepare to cast web. You light down next to. I'm going to just create a new token for you here because there's too many. All right. So you light down, and I'm going to roll to see because I have a stated mechanic in the book here, and miraculously there's no trolls. So you light down next to the troll, and I assume you're curious about what this troll has. That's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
All right, Fedora, the priestess of what do they call it? Kogian. Although you wouldn't have heard her said that, but a large warhammer, a potion. It looks like it has a clear liquid in it with bubbles. The staff with the carving of the man, the muscular man with the two-handed sword. A silver bracelet worth 50 gold, a sack of gold pieces, a bunch of onyx gems in a bag, and amongst them fingernails, bones of things, fish bones, and rancid meat.
Cool. Let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
All right.
Very cool.
So do you fly off with this and then rejoin him, and then the plan to flee at that point, or is it to fight?
So I think Magnus was bringing it up earlier. If we could stay just kind of at the edge of range, would that be viable? Or is it either we are staying in melee or we are running?
I would call staying at range the same as fleeing, because you're just waiting till they either give up or until the currents take you too far, or ultimately you're either trying to fight or you're not. So
let's do that. Let's do what damage we can just to try to sow some more discord among their ranks and to make it just that much more safe for the area.
Okay. If that's the case, I'm going to do one more combat round and then tie a morale check to it. So, top of the round, Magnus, you make it back to the boat. Any spells?
Web, since I had it prepared.
All right. I'm just going to assume you're going to put web down in the absolute worst spot for them, to where the area that your allies cannot cover, and then it would affect the morale check. Because you're not trying to flee, you're trying to actually break them. So, Father Bloombad.
Although,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
I just want to make sure, AJ, when you said do as much damage, you meant while we're keeping distance, right?
Yes.
Shooting arrows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right, Father Bloombad, any spells?
Yeah, I will cast Protection from Evil, JIC.
All right. Let's see here. Roll a d6 per dairy. Right. Oh, House wins. You got it. All right, so you all can make your attacks. I think you're down to something like, what, 10?
Yeah. I mean, I've got no more of mine left except for the magic user. I did 3 points of damage to Troll.
All right.
I mean, they're going to regenerate. They don't have. We're not able to do anything to them here, really. I don't think. We have to burn them to.
All right. I see 1, 2, 3 hits.
Speaking of the burning, do we have we'd have to light torches like that, wouldn't we? That would take away from their ability to attack.
I just don't see it. I mean, you're like on a boat, water splashing. They're trying to get up on the side. I can't imagine how you're going to use fire in that situation.
Yeah.
Unless you had a spell or something, you know. But okay, so it looks like you could roll 3d8 is what I'm seeing. And that gives you 16. So you do manage to kill one of them. Meanwhile, Oh, go ahead.
There's no way that 13 was a hit. If the guy had a +2, maybe he has good strength.
I don't think so. Anyways, let's see here. Spells. So the web goes off, and you're able to prevent a lot of the attacks. I'll even take some away here. 2, 4, 6, 8 attacks instead. That is their first round of attacks. This is their second round of attacks. This is their third round of attacks. Instead, I think you're probably no, I'm gonna let them attack. I mean, that we said we're fighting, so so let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I thought we were keeping range.
we were trying to row so that we could shoot arrows at them from range.
Okay, so again, 2 options.
Yeah.
Are we fleeing or fighting? I think we're fleeing then, because if you're going down the river and you're keeping them at range, you're going to keep them at range, and then they're just going to go away.
Right. Yeah, that was the goal.
Okay, then disregard all of this. None of this happens. You have all your spells. So you do that. Their morale is not broken by this. Indeed, trying to shoot them at range, as you've seen, they are extremely tough. Very hard to break down. So you flee and up the river. And you've seen there are dozens of these monsters. But after all of this, half your numbers have been depleted after about a day's rest. It takes 3 days now, and you have to spend a couple of getting back. You are exhausted. And so you return to Caden's Rest.
I guess we had to wait at least a day for him to get away from the river before we could turn the keelboat around.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll say that you have 3 days of time in between. It took a total of 4 days. You make it back to Caden's Rest, and the survivors are thrilled. They survived their first battle. They think they're the most amazing thing ever. And we will divvy up all the XP. I don't think there's very much though. It'll take me a while to do the math.
Yeah, I would like to cast Detect Evil on the staff and the Warhammer and the potion.
Well, since our ruling about identifying stuff is, basically if you have the time, Magnus, you identified that this is a potion of flying. As far as Detect Evil, The warhammer is not evil. The wooden symbol is also not evil. And neither is the...
detect magic also.
Yeah.
What's the story with the staff?
It seemed to be some sort of channel by which they acted. It's not like a wand or a rod of magic or anything. It is not magical and it's not evil. However, it is a familiar carving, and the carving is in a realist style. It's hard for you to imagine that any of these creatures could have carved this wooden statuette. But yeah.
But it like Krogan? Not that I know who Krogan is, but if we asked around in town.
Yeah. If you take it over to Rodocon's Riverside rounds, you find that yes, it resembles Krogan, and that's where we'll end the adventure for the night.